Oh, good evening everybody. Hello out there. Welcome to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. I'm Thundercloud, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. Let's have some fun linguistic games. Yeah, everyone knows. Mum calls me James. All right. Well, what's happening? What's crack-a-lacking? Many things here. First of all, let's begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians on the land on which we broadcast and the traditional custodians of the land right across this continent now called Australia, both the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people, that the First Nations, and it's NAIDOC week this week. And our elders, celebrating our elders is the theme. One of the last speaker of the Kakadu language was Kakadu, and cultural sensitivity warning here. I will be mentioning the names of people who have passed on for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers. One of the last speaker of the Kakadu language was the custodian of the Kakadu, and was responsible for it being turned into a national park and turned back to its people. And he was Kakadu Bill Neidjie. They wrote this, his last story. He wanted to get his message out there, and he gave this story as a gift to all people because he was the last of his mob. And it says here, I give you this story. I have tried to contact the Resource Managers Pty Ltd, the copyright holder of this, but they no longer exist as a company. So I couldn't, and so I will be doing this respectfully and without cultural appropriation. So I'll just be reading a small amount out of this, and it's called Land, that I'll be reading today, which I had it all marked. Here I go. Land. People, they can't listen for us. They just listen for money. Money. We want goose, we want fish. Other men want money. Him can make $1 million, but only last 1 year. Next year, him want another $1 million. Forever and ever, him make $1 million. Him die. $1 million no good for us. We need this earth to live because we'll be dead. We'll become earth. This ground and this earth, like brother and mother. Trees and eagle. You know eagle? He can listen. Eagle our brother, like dingo our brother. We like this earth to stay because he was staying forever and ever. We don't want to lose him. We say, sacred, leave him. Goanna is dead because they're cutting its body off us, cutting our mother's belly, grandpa's bones. They squash him up, no good, and carve up our earth, no good. We come from earth, bones. We go to earth, ashes. My children, got to hang on to this story, this important story. I hang on to this story all my life. My father told me this story, my children can't lose it. White European want to know, asking, what's this story? It's not an easy story, no one else can tell it because this story for Aboriginal culture. I speak English for you so you can listen, so you can know. You will understand. If I put my words, language in the same place, you won't understand. Our story is in the land. It is written in those sacred places. My children will look after those places. That's the law. No one can walk close to those sacred places. No difference for Aborigine or white European. That's the law. We can't break law. Old people tell me you gotta keep law. What for? I said. No matter we die, but the law, you gotta keep it. No camping in secret place, no fire there, no play for kids. You can't break law. Law must stay. When that law started, I don't know how many thousands of years, European men say 40,000 years, but I reckon myself probably was more because it is sacred. Dreaming place. You can't change it no matter who you are. No matter you rich man, no matter you king, you can't change it. We say, that's secret because dreaming there. We're frightened you might get hurt if you go there. Not only my country, but any secret place. No matter if it's Croker Island, Elcho Island, Brisbane or Sydney. Wherever you'll get him the same, because that secret place not small. Secret place is biggest one, everywhere, powerful. We walk on earth, we look after, like rainbows sitting on top. But something underneath, under the ground, we don't know. You don't know. What do you want to do? If you touch, you might get cyclone, heavy rain or flood, not just here. You might kill someone in another place. Might be kill him in another country. You cannot touch him. These very important places, but we frighten the European might touch him. If we tell the white European story, he's slow to listen. If we get a little bit wild, you might listen, but slow. You've always got to ask a question. You want that place. That's why we're frightened. I worry about that place, secret place, that got painting there inside cave. It got to be looked after because my father, granddad all look after it. Now me. I got to do the same. If that painting get rubbed off, it might be big trouble. That important story. It for all round this area. The biggest story, biggest place. My grandpa teach me that painting is true. Fish, python, goose, all painting there. Grandpa say, you see painting, fish, you got to eat. Python, you got to eat. Mullet, you got to eat. Lily, turtle, all same, they for you. That drawing there, painting, that's the size fish should be now. Used to be that size. I saw them myself. Used to be that size at Owenpelly. Need 2 men to carry 1 catfish. That was when I was nearly man, still young. Now, little boy can carry catfish, should be 50 pounds, but only 15. You can't see big fish anymore, not at Owenpelly. People say, plenty fish there, you see barramundi. I say, yes, pocket fish. And they say, what do you mean? I tell them, pocket fish, that barramundi, little one. You can put him in your pocket. They tell me, big catfish, we got him plenty. I say, should be 10 times of that size. We have to keep them pressure on young people to learn. They must learn these things. I have to stay on to teach my children. But young people spread out, go elsewhere to towns. It's like that every time we have meetings. For business, ceremonies, we make arrangement, appointment. About business, secret. Young people all in town, you look now, nobody with me. This old man here, Philly Combs, he with me. But we don't have a dozen behind us, so we must stay on, look after and teach. Or my uncle gone, but this story I got him. They told me. They taught me and I can feel it. I feel it with my body, with my blood. Filling all these trees, all this country. When this wind blows, you can feel it. Same for country. You feel it, you can look. But feeling that make you. Feeling make you. Out there in the open space, he coming through your body. Look while he blow and feel with your body. Because tree, just about your brother or father, and tree is watching you. Earth, like your father or brother or mother, because you are born from earth, you got to come back to earth. When you're dead, you'll come back to earth. Maybe a little while yet, but then you'll come back to earth. That's your bone, your blood. It's in this earth. Same as for tree. Tree, he watching you. You look at tree, he listen to you. You got no finger, you can't speak, but that leaf, he pumping, growing in the night while you sleeping. You dream something. Tree and grass, same thing. They grow with your body, with your feeling. If you feel sore, headache, sore body, that means somebody killing tree or grass. You feel because your body in that tree or earth. Nobody can tell you. You gotta feel it yourself. Tree might be sick. You feel it. You might feel it for 2 or 3 years. You get weak, little bit, because tree going bit by bit, dying. Tree not die when you cut it. You not die tomorrow. He's still green. Might be 5 or 6 weeks. Might be 2 months. You feel it then. Your body, you feel it. Kakadu, Bill Neidjie. Yeah.
Still alive or?
No. Passed in.
Do you know the birth and death dates?
I do. It should be still on my computer, on my iPad here from last night, to tell you the truth. And I'll just read out his a quick overview of his bio here. Here he is, Big Bill. Come on, Neidjie. 1913, he was born. Circa, they don't know what date. Passed the 23rd of May, 2002.
So he was 20 when Adolf Hitler erupted on the world. Maybe not on him, but 20, yeah.
Yeah, he was the last surviving speaker of the Kakadu language
The last
northern,
one?
yeah,
The last one?
from the northern Kakadu, after which Kakadu National Park is named. He was an elder of the Kakadu people and a custodian of the land who cared deeply about preserving his culture and land. born in 1913 at Alwanjanwani on the East Alligator River in the Kakadu region of the Northern Territory, into the Bunitj clan of the Kakadu people. His father was Nadampala and his mother was Lucy Wirramaka from the Ulbuk clan of the Amarak people.
Right.
But yeah, and he spent a few years of school at Owenpally, but learnt about his traditional culture from his father. From the age of 20, worked with buffalo hunters, then at the timber mill, then on a lugger, transporting people along the north coast of the Northern Territory into remote island communities. He was initiated in the 1940s during the Second World War, the big fight. He helped in the defence of Australia, working at the radar station at Cape Don. He was in Darwin during the Japanese bombings of 1942 and helped Aboriginal people during the devastation. He acquired the nickname Big Bill because of his physique and strength, and he's also called Kakadu Man after the title of his first book, this one.
We need a movie.
He was a senior elder of the Kakadu National Park and traditional owner of the Bunitj Estate in northern Kakadu, perhaps the most spectacular national park in Australia. His decision to open up his land to other people was instrumental in the creation of Kakadu National Park. Neidjie was instrumental in the decision to lease his traditional lands to the Commonwealth of Australia so that it could be managed as a wild area and as a resource to be shared by all Australians. After helping establish Kakadu as a national park in 1979, he returned there to commit the rest of his life to supporting the joint management of the park. He worked as a ranger and cultural advisor for the park, and his work was critical in gaining World Heritage statements for the park. There's quite a little bit more about him there, but so really good. Wow, Skye, you got something for us? All right, welcome, Skye.
There could be a big epic movie about that life.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. Very important human.
Film, all the dramas in it.
Alright. Going back to the Dirty 30 again, because I haven't written anything new.
That's all right.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to get onto that. Okay, so the hardest thing was change. Breaking away, astray, I'll start again. Breaking away, astray, counting the days in a haze, hoping it was just a phase, walking with tears in my eyes, hoping it was all lies. Sad goodbyes, broken hearted, now we've parted. The wishing of being in your arms, my love, then up above a dove I saw, a sign of peace to come and more, and now I know it's for the good to take that step, yes, that I could. When time had passed to soothe the heart, to step into my own alone and make that new start. And that's that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
And this one was a prompt as you had to take it from, I think, someone else's idea. Can't remember what it was. But yeah, so this was admiration of community. Crickets chirping, sounds alerting, singing to the one to woo, underneath the moon so blue, finding food in the night, so they wouldn't be caught in flight, Jumping here, crawling there, caution of big things afoot, so they don't get split. Then they stomp around. When they stomp around, we stop, then start again. When feeling safe, chirping on the spot, we hop till the morning light. Then we say goodnight.
Good night.
There was one word I missed in it when you were at the foot or something.
Squat.
Caution of big things afoot, so they don't get split.
Split. I didn't get the word, and I thought, well, yeah, that's all right. Now I got it. I'm splitted.
You're splitted?
I splattered. I got splitted. Yeah.
And this one is about a great place called
Gyra.
the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame.
Yay!
If Gyra didn't invent Gyra, it would have had
That's
to.
right, exactly, in Gyra.
Waiting for Gyra.
Yes, it's a great place to be, with a library for poetry, a cafe there is to have a coffee or tea with yummy treats or something to eat, lots of fun to show your craft, recite and admiring what others write and maybe desire. Come meet the local troupe, they're full of knowledge and a hoot.
Oh, well, look, that's a great lead into the next one that I've got for you. This was like, I've been on a bit of a writing hiatus, we all really have, and I hadn't written that much over the last few, as prolifically as I generally do. And I did get up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 17 hours ago, and write this. Yeah. So, and this was a post on Facebook, but it's a bit of under the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame's website, Facebook page. Boom. Thundercloud here, and I'm so excited I can't sleep. This November, I'm going to have some of the absolute best bush poets in Australia coming to Gyra and the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame for the 2023 Australian Bush Poet Association New South Wales Bush Poetry Championship, Performance Championship. There'll also be a writing championship. And I mean the best poets, just the calibre of the three judges is amazing, and they'll all be performing. There's Bill Kearns and there's Robin Sykes and I'll let you know, and I'm not going to drop any more names because there's actually a whole lot of others coming as well. Like really, really, really good poets are going to be here, and performing poets, like people who can get up and they'll be just able to wow you with their, not only their stories, but their voice, their body language, their performance skills. So it's going to be really awesome. And I have put it off from the 11th of November to a week later, just to make sure that we could get these fantastic poets up here. So there will be many amazing poets from right across New South Wales and Australia in Gyra, in little Gyra, yeah, coming here. So like this is a message to like Armidale Council. You need to give us some money to support us because we're bringing people to the region. Yeah, hope you're watching anyway. But there will be a written category and performance category, with in the performance to include an original serious bush poetry, an original humorous, and funny bone, and someone else's pre-1953, so it's out of copyright. And so there will be those three categories, plus a film festival thrown in over the top. So lots to do and plan and think about it, and like tell you, yeah, and that then turned into a little bit of a rhyming couplet poem. Crikey, I'm excited. I've got so much to do. I've nearly wet myself in excitement to tell you. It's true. It's a little We. Not really. There'll be poets from the bush, also from the city. I had to show it to you, so I wrote this ditty. In the night, in my bed, thunderclouds don't sleep, planning for the future, having thoughts deep, like how to and where to cook a damper. Should the winning bush poet get a hamper? I don't know. Coming up in Gaia in 2023 in November will be the greatest poetry show that all will remember. It's taken time to get here. I'm working through the plan. I've no time to brush my hair, see? Thundercloud's your man. Oh, well, I know. That's why I wear a hat. So that's what's happening here. Oh, the Australian Bush Poetry, New South Wales Association breaking staff. I'm going to have to do that puzzle now. And so that's what's happening. That's really exciting. But even more exciting and closer is on the 22nd of this month, July, is Fiore Musicali. That's only 2.5 weeks away. Is coming with Stuart Pavel as the conductor to do their show Love and Nature, which is a 20th century collection of European composers such as Elgar, Williams, and a few others. And so that's exciting. Then in August, even more exciting, it's more because it's poetry, it's the Australian Poetry Slam. Guy Rahit is coming here for the Words Travel Australian Poetry Slam. On the Tuesday, the 15th of August, is the workshop, the word shop, so you can check that out on the Facebook page and also on the website, and there's links to get tickets to the workshop. And then that's Tuesday the 15th, and on Wednesday the 16th is the Amazing Poetry Slam night. Yeah, so and that's judged by members of the audience too, and slam poets will have 2 minutes to do their stuff. So yeah, we really encouraging all you local, all you regional poets to get here to Gaia in August for that night, so you can get an opportunity. There's 2 opportunities to get to Sydney for the New South Wales Poetry Slam Championship, and then hopefully, if you're good enough, into the Australian final. That'd be mad. Yeah. All right, so that's what's coming up here, and on that note, I'll call it that, and I'll invite Ashley up.
Well, Mr. Albanese here, a bush poet, if not a bush poet, but as I walked in tonight, it was brisk, and I thought of my beloved hypothesis, which is that we never know, though we know we don't know. The implications of that, well, we have to keep thinking, don't we? And the testing or the parameters of it relate to every each day action, thought, action. To quote Spinoza, the order of connection in things is the same as the order and connection of ideas. I gave politics a lot of thought this week because of the burning bright dialectic of last week's utterances between James Warren and Ashley Albanese, and I thought it's very difficult in small rural communities to move outside politically, spiritually and culturally the frame, which may be a good and a bad thing. It's not a simple story. Having grown up in the bush in a small country town, I gave much thought to this during the last week. Now, I wish to read from someone who was born the year Karl Marx died in Angleterre in 1883, and who, although he emerged from the Greek world, the world of the Hellenes, had many years of his life in England in a Greek merchant family, and died in the year the mustachioed monster appeared. Well, at least a monster to me and many of my friends, Herr Hitler. The poet C.P. Cavafy, who I shall read this evening. I have always had a particular love for Cavafy. The first step, candles. Days to come stand in front of us like a row of burning candles, golden, warm and vivid candles. Days past fall behind us, a gloomy line of burnt out candles. The nearest are still smoking, cold, melted and bent. I don't want to look at them. Their shape saddens me, and it saddens me to remember their original light. I look ahead at my burning candles. I don't want to turn, don't want to see, terrified how quickly that dark line gets longer, how quickly one more dead candle joins another. And I will read Waiting for Barbarians last, as it's his most classic and known poem. Having lived a year of my life amongst the opal diggings, I like the reference to opals, and in this poem he wrote grey. And I may particularly recommend to you brown opals that you get out Kakadu way, just past Lightning Ridge. They have a great beauty, and it's subtler rhythms of colour than you get with the blue and azure opal. Grey. While looking at a half grey opal, I remembered two lovely grey eyes. It must be 20 years ago I saw them. We were lovers for a month. Then he went away to work, I think to Smyrna, and we never met again. Those grey eyes will have lost their charm. If he's still alive, that lovely face will have spoiled. Memory, keep them the way they were, and memory, whatever you can bring back of that love, whatever you can bring back tonight. Yes, no matter how love frames itself, we all wish to keep looking through the frame and hold on to it sometimes in the stormy petrol of things. Another very short, simple lyric that Cavafy wrote, On Board Ship. It's like him, of course, this little pencil portrait, hurriedly sketched on the ship's deck, the afternoon magical, the Ionian Sea around us. It's like him, but I remember him as better looking. He was almost pathologically sensitive, and this highlighted his expression. He appears to me better looking now that my soul brings him back out of time, out of time. All these things are from very long ago. The sketch and the ship and the afternoon. Yes, out there on the Ionian Sea, all around us. I remember one day I met a Greek at a cafe in Byron Bay, and we were talking, and I started describing this scene in the great film Malthiassos, where a young German officer takes all his clothes off in front of a Greek woman who becomes the camera eye. We're looking at the officer through her eyes. And then she goes and closes the door and leaves the room, and he puts his clothes back on. And I finished describing this compelling scene, and my friend said, oh, who I just met, I used to live in that bedroom, in that hotel where that was filmed. So Greece has always got its octopus legs somewhere on our shoulders. This is a poem I particularly can relate to in terms of moods and feelings that you find in Robert Graves' sense of irony and historical span that the Englishman brings you.
young men of Sidon, after death 400. The actor they brought in to entertain them also recited a few choice epigrams. The room opened out on the garden, and a delicate odour of flowers mingled with the scent of the 5 perfumed young Sidonians. There were readings from Meliga, Krinagoras, Rhianos, but when the actor recited, "Here lies Aeschylus the Athenian, son of Euphorion," stressing maybe more than he should have, his renowned valour and sacred Marathonian grove, a vivacious young man, mad about literature, suddenly jumped up and said, "I don't like that quatrain at all. Sentiments of that kind seem somehow weak. Give, I say, all your strength to your work. Make it your total concern. And don't forget your work even in times of stress and when you begin to decline. This is what I expect, what I demand of you, and not that you completely dismiss from your mind the magnificent art of your tragedies, your Agamemnon, your marvellous Prometheus, your representations of Orestes and Cassandra, your 7 against Thebes, merely to set down for your memorial that as an ordinary soldier, one of the herd, you two fought against Datus and Artaphernes." There's a lot happening in that. And I will finish with a return to the image of the candles, to call up the shades. It must be very frustrating to come from such an empire of the mind as the Greek and face the world with all its vicissitudes. Anyway, one more candle poem, to call up the shades. One candle is enough. Its gentle light will be more suitable, will be more gracious when the shades come, the shades of love. One candle is enough. Tonight the room should not have too much light. In deep reverie, all receptiveness. With the gentle light in this deep reverie, I'll form visions to call up the shades of love. And I will finish, as I said, with waiting for the barbarians. We are waiting for, assembled in the forum, the barbarians are due here today. Why isn't anything going on in the Senate? Why are the senators sitting there without legislating? Because the barbarians are coming today. What's the point of senators making laws now? Once the barbarians are here, they'll do the legislating. Why did our emperor get up so early? And why is he sitting enthroned at the city's main gate, in state, wearing the crown? Because the barbarians are coming today, and the emperor's waiting to receive their leader. He's even got a scroll to give him, loaded with titles, with imposing names. Why have our 2 consuls and praetors come out today, wearing their embroidered, their scarlet togas? Why have they put on bracelets with so many amethysts, rings sparkling with magnificent emeralds? Why are they carrying elegant canes, beautifully worked in silver and gold? Because the barbarians are coming today. And things like that dazzle the barbarians. Why don't our distinguished orators turn up as usual to make their speeches, say what they have to say? Because the barbarians are coming today, and they're bored by rhetoric and public speaking. Why this sudden bewilderment? This confusion? How serious people's faces have become? Why are the streets and squares emptying so rapidly? Everyone going home, lost in thought. Because night has fallen and the barbarians haven't come. And some of our men just in from the border say, there are no barbarians any longer. Now, what's going to happen to us without barbarians? They were, those people, a kind of solution.
Yeah. All right, well, this is not one I was going to do, but it is now. This was written by Charles Harper in 1855. He was born at Windsor in New South Wales in 1813. He became Australia's first important poet, and he owned a small property as well. From 1859 to 1866, he held the post of Sub-Gold Commissioner, and he died in 1868, having published several volumes of poems. Harper was an outspoken critic of the conduct of the Crimean War. And that's this next poem called On the Crimean War.
I'd forgotten that. Keep going.
What is the Eastern War to thee? Its craft and folly, blame and blunder? Its aims are dodges, plain to see. Its victories shams, for all their thunder. Heed not its proud but passing things, the royal mischiefs of their day. But give thou thoughts immortal wings to glories of a purer way, to freedom in her future prime, to nature's everlasting law, to science from her tower in time, surveying the eternal's shore. Be such the subjects of thy thought, not old world kings and ruling sets, and liberties that flounder caught like fish in diplomatic nets. For these, if pondered, can but hurt the straightness of thy moral view, and foul as with the old world's dirt the virgin nature of the new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a powerful image, isn't it? The fish in the net and the whoopee, 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 whoop. Woofy, woof.
Okay. All right. I don't have a lot here for myself. I actually do have some lovely ones that I've written this week. Okay, a little short one on myself, a little meditation. I may have many flaws, but I don't know what they are. I had many flaws, but I've sent them away far. I look inside for flaws, and I see more flaws in me. Then, like past flaws are shown doors, and they're set free. That's that. That's a little quick one. Ooh, the went. I might do that last, I think. I might do the went last. Well, there was Monday morning this week, and the funny thing is this was written in the middle of the night too, so it's not actually experiencing what I'm writing about. It's got a lot of alliteration in it, ing, 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 and it's got a lot of rhyming, and the rhyming word at the end of every line is ite sound. Monday morning dawning and arrives the light. Frost upon grass, crystals forming overnight. Crimson clouds predict the winter will bite, walking in winter's morning delight. Snug in my layers, warming and tight, admiring in reverence this dawning sight. Passionate tears from the well of delight arise like the sun dawning in might. Yeah, and that is a sort of written on actual experience. Often when I get out really early in the morning before sunrise and it's cold, and I get out far away from the civilization and whatever, and there's a lot of reverence and there's like passionate tears just sort of come from nowhere, and that's just like it's like wow, this is beautiful. That's really it's amazing. Yeah. Like the dog with big ears. Oh yeah. This is a little quickie. 4 lines. There once was a dog and he had big ears, but that dog with his big ears was profoundly deaf. And every night he'd drink a dozen beers with a sad, clawless cat named Jeff. That's with the G. Jeff with the G. Okay, that's it. Oh, yeah, no, it's okay. There's a couple more. Yeah, okay. He sat on a mountain, this was 11 hours ago, he sat on a mountain thinking life was great with plenty of times for yoga and to meditate until he heard the music coming from down below. So he walked into the valley and he left the snow. There's another one like that, but which much longer, which I'll do for you later personally. Now this one here, the next one I'm about to do, and I don't have my book here. Oh yeah, look at Jane Bogen's Peaceful Protest in Newman. It's for sale. You can get it on Amazon and on Amazon, yeah, and you can get it from me here. Well, it tells a story in the beginning of, pardon me, it's not COVID. It's just a cough. Down by it tells a story of when I wrote Jan Bungling's Platypus, Jan Bungling's Peaceful Protest in Yemen. I was went for a swim this morning and ended up swimming with a platypus, like literally that far in front of me, like in that much water and that wide, and we were sort of like going like this, and it was doing that feeding, and I was just like behind it in the zone, and it was in the zone, had no idea it was there. Here we go, this is it. Down by the creek I was stripped bare, skin covered in mud and mud in my hair, sitting in the sun, my skin dry and tight. Along swam a platypus, which gave me a fright. It swam past my foot looking for food, covered in mud. I didn't look like a dude. I got down behind it as it foraged in the stream, swimming with the platypus. It wasn't a dream. As it swam in the creek, there was plenty of feed. I knew at that moment we have all that we need. Bathing in a creek with mudstone for soap. Life is a dream when you row your own boat. In the 21st century, who could want more? That platypus's life was abundant, not poor. Yeah, was definitely abundant, yeah. And then in the first poem in Jane Bungling's Peaceful Protest is basically the platypus. It's about the platypus saying that, but it's in a much longer poem of about 3 or 4 pages. Yeah, okay. It's pretty boring actually. Oh. I don't know. No, it's not. It's all right. Yeah, I'll say so. Now, I got a wave of compassion for the Kardashians. And I thought, what's the psychology of them? Like, you imagine, I was trying to understand the psychology of the Kardashians, because they're making heaps of money out of changing their body and looking like that. And because they obviously, and then everyone goes, oh wow, you're awesome, and gives them lots of these things. How does that do to your psyche? We like your new plastic bits. I don't know, they're not liking you as a human. I don't know. I mean, and what about Kylie Jenner? I mean, she gets with these terrible guys that treat her terrible and cheat on her. I mean, she's obviously got self-esteem things, And then not only that, they've got all the bits put on. Then they have to Photoshop them to make them even more, and bigger there and bigger there and bigger here. So even the Kardashians deserve compassion. Imagine being a slave to likes and passion. Give me a thumbs up, go on, please. Please give a thumbs up, leave a comment. Yeah, you're liking this? No. Unhappy with your body, so you get new bits, lips, nose, tits, then Photoshop for more hits. Even the Kardashians need understanding. Low self-worth, so attention they're demanding, money and likes to build self-esteem in self-loathing's nightmare. Life's no dream. Even the Kardashians deserve our respect and freedom from judgment if I'm not correct. Regardless of the things they do to earn, every human has a path with lessons to learn. Even the Kardashians need our love. In their tight sequin dresses, fitting like a glove. Kim, Chloe, Kylie, Courtney, Kendall and Chris, I know their names, I had to Google them actually, deserve our compassion because something's amiss. They deserve everything, like the animals deserve our compassion too. Even the Kardashians deserve our compassion. All right, and the final one, the Went. We're going to finish with the Went. They're gone. It's actually a poem about death, so I'll just put that down to start with. Anyway, the Went. They're gone. The Went. Hearts broken, bent, away. They weren't sent. They all just left and went. Some aggrieved, they left, peeved, bereft. One foot after the other, the Went got up and left. Uncles, aunts, fathers, mothers, sisters, also brothers, and oh, so many others have become the Went. An accident? Some intent? Mostly the environment. Message sent.
Do that again. That's interesting, pal.
Yeah, I will. The Went. They're gone. The Went. Hearts broken, bent. Away. They weren't sent. They all just left and went. Some aggrieved, they left, peeved, bereft, one foot after the other. The Went got up and left. Uncles, aunts, fathers, mothers, sisters, all so brothers, and oh, so many others have become the Went. An accident? Some intent? Mostly the environment. Message sent. This is sort of a gentle one in a way. So thank you for joining us tonight out there in YouTube world, our little group of 3 tonight, and it'll grow once the weather warms up, I'm sure, and once the professor gets back, and Gladys too, and Saul gets up here too. We'll work on Saul. Hey Saul, get on up here. All right, and all the other bush poets and the slam poets coming here soon too. That's going to be more exciting as well. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And also in the link down below, there's a paper link that I'm going to put there at Australian Poetry Hall. So if you feel like giving a donation, it would be really welcome, because we've got lots of poets that we're bringing up here. Then we need to find accommodation for them to, Okay. All right, thank you very much, and a good night.
Don't forget, we went.
We're going, The Went.